Hello everyone, today I'll be watching Attack on Titan Season 2, Episode 6. So I still haven't replied to your comments under my previous video, but I have already read your comments. And I just wanted to say thank you for all your... There were a lot of you who gave me a lot of suggestions, advice regarding how to avoid copyright issues, and I will definitely consider following your suggestions if this situation will get worse. So for now, as I said, at the end of my previous video, I will just make these short cut versions of my reactions a bit shorter, a bit more edited, and then I'll see how things will go on from there. I just hope that in my previous video I didn't sound too negative about this whole situation. Of course, it wasn't a great experience having all these copyright issues, but at the same time there were also some other things which were happening in my life which made me feel negative while filming that video. And at the end of the day, you know, I wouldn't be doing this if I wouldn't enjoy it. Issues will always happen, negative things will always happen. A lot of bad things have already happened to me since I made this channel, and I'm never really talking about some stuff because I just don't want to be negative, I don't want to make you feel negative, I don't want to make you feel bad for me. But in my previous video, I just needed to make an explanation because it's almost been around 2 weeks since I uploaded. So I definitely felt an obligation to tell you the whole truth. Yeah, but that's that. As I said, I will try now to make these shortcut reactions a bit shorter and we will see what happens. Episode 6. I think the story will continue where it left off, and the biggest if factor is Ymir. So if she is alive, they will probably then mostly interrogate her, give her questions. But if she's dead, then they will probably interrogate Kirsta, ask her about Ymir, ask her about her father, especially because of what Priest Nick said. The other possibility, of course, is if we will maybe follow Erwin, Levi, or Jean. There's also a possibility that this episode could go into an entire different direction. Maybe we will have like a flashback episode for Ymir, of her childhood. But yeah, I'm really excited for this episode, because for one, I haven't watched Attack on Titan, I think now really in 2 weeks, so I really missed that. And because this is the last episode before I'm allowed to watch the opening. And this at the same time gives me a big feeling that a big reveal might happen in this episode, because most of you have suggested to me that I should watch this opening after the first half of the season, because there are apparently some spoilers in that opening. So because of that, I always had a sense that something big will happen in these 6 episodes. Maybe it already happened, maybe Ymir being a Titan shifter was that big reveal which happens in that opening. But maybe the big reveal didn't happen yet and it will happen in this episode. So yeah, there are plenty of reasons for why I'm excited for this episode. So I guess I'll just start watching. Warriors. Okay. So she's alive, right?
もちろん彼女とは友好的な関係を築きたい。本名はヒストリア・レイスって言うんだって？
はい、そうです。
レイスってあの貴族家の？
はい。
よろしくね、ヒストリ
ア。はい。
出血が止まって傷口から蒸気のようなものが出ていますが。
とりあえずトロストクまで運んでまともな医療を受けてもらわないとね。任せたよ。
了解です。
大丈夫だ。大丈夫じゃない。巨人に腕を噛み砕くんだ。本当に参った。 お前ほど強くてもそうなっちまうんだな。何言ってんだ。こんなのもう2回目だぞ。なあ、アルミ。一度は巨人の手の中にすっぽり収まっちまったこともあるんだ。
うん。
このペースじゃあの世まであっという間だ。自分で選んだ道だが、兵士をお前ら二人の故郷も遠の一年ばかりだから、なんとかここで踏みとどまんねえと。そうだよライナー、故郷だ。帰ろう。もう帰れるじゃないか。
Bertholdt, he's so suspicious, man.
あともう一息のところまで来ているんだったな。何言ってんだお前ら。
まさかユミルまで巨人だったなんて。一体サシャ、
みんないいかい？ユミルの件はひとまず後だ。それからコニー、あんたの村には後で調査班を送る手配をするから。
Oh, Hannes.
駐屯兵団先遣隊だ。穴の位置を知らせに来たんだ。
穴がどこにもない。夜通し探し回ったが、少なくともトロスト区からクロルバクの間に壁に異常はない。
巨人は実際に壁の内側に出てるんだ。
ちゃんと見たのか。まだ酒が残ってんじゃねえのか。思うかよ。ていうかお前らなんでこんなところにいるんだ。とにかくまだ気を抜くなよ。俺たちは先に戻るぞ。ちょっといいか。話があるんだが。なんだ。俺たちは5年前、壁を破壊して人類への攻撃を始めた。まさか。
What did Reiner say to Eren? Are you kidding me?
今はとにかくユミルを安全に運ぶことを考えよ
Are you kidding me?
何を言っているんだ。
Is this true?
目的はこの人類すべてに消えてもらうことだ。だがそうする必要はなくなった。
What the hell? And they just told him.
いや待て、全然わかんねえぞ。だから俺たちと一緒に来てくれって言ってんだよ。
Are you kidding me?
どうなんだよエレン。悪い話じゃないだろう。ひとまず危機が去るんだからな。
I mean, I thought it had Bertholdt, but not Reiner.
参ったな。昨日からとっくに頭が限界な。
I still can't believe how casually they told him that.
アニレオンハートの身辺調査の結果がようやく届いたんだから。
兄の。
ああ、君たち104機の中に2名ほど彼女と同じ地域の出身者がいるようなんだ。その2人はライナー・ブラウンと
So it's true, man.
この2人は先の壁外調査の時、誤った作戦企画書によってエレンが右翼側にいると知らされていたグループに所属していた。
二人が兄に情報を流した可能性が。なんで兄に？
念のため訓練兵時代の3人の関係性などが知りたい。どう思う？
ライナーとベルトルトが同郷なのは知っていましたが、兄と親しい印象はありません。
でも同期としてはその疑いは低いと思います。 ライナーは俺たちの兄貴みたいな。
Yeah. I really didn't expect Reiner.
僕はそう思います。
ライナーがエレンの場所を気にしてる素振りとかはなかった？じゃあエレンはどこにいるってんだ？
Oh shit, man, it's true.
それにあの時女型の巨人が凝視してた手のひらに刃で文字を刻むことができたかもしれない。ライナーなら
全員聞くんだ。もしライナーとベルトルトを見つけても、こちらの疑いを悟られぬように振る舞え。うまく誘導して地下深く幽閉する必要がある。全員分かったね。はい。
お前さ、疲れてんだよなあベルトルト。こうなってもおかしくないくらい大変だったんだろう。ライナーは疲れているんだ。そんなこと言われて俺が「はい行きます」ってうなずくわけがねえだろ。何を考えてるんだ俺は。本当におかしくなっちまったのか。きっとここに長くいすぎてしまったんだ。
Oh shit.
奴らに囲まれてこんな奴らがいるなんて知らずにいれば俺はこんな半端なクソ野郎にならずに済んだのに。俺のすべきことは自分のした行いや選択に対し戦士として最後まで責任を果たすことだ。
He regenerated, yeah.
ここで勝負は今ここで決める。ベルトルト。
Oh god. I still can't believe it. Man, this sucks. I expected this. Oh man. I just don't know what to say, man. There are so many different emotions which I felt during this whole episode, actually. If you think about it, the whole thing was just one big scene, it felt like. From the beginning till the end, they were at the same place, you know what I mean? And the time just flew by because it was so tense, so interesting. The funny thing is that a few episodes ago, I think it was before episode 3, in the introduction I actually talked about the possibility of Reiner being the Armored Titan. But then I put also a lot of arguments as to why he's not the Armored Titan. But I did, like, for the last few episodes, if you watched my discussions, you know that I was really suspicious of Bertholdt. Like, everything he did, I said that he's probably the second spy. But even him, his reveal that he's the Colossal Titan also shocked me a lot, because he's the Colossal Titan. I thought that the Colossal Titan is like the main antagonist, like, but to know that it's Bertholdt, it's unreal in a way, you know, you understand me? And it's funny, like, if you remember the time of the episodes of the female Titan where I was pretty sure that it's Annie who's the female Titan. The main argument as to why I didn't want to believe that she's the female Titan was that she had to be doing this when she was 10 years old. That's why I never was suspicious of anyone out of these training corps, because they were all children at that time. So basically it was 3 children which were responsible for the fall of Wal Maria, and which were responsible for basically so many deaths. So many people have died because of them. It's unbelievable if you think about it. Because of 3 children. With that, I see 2 possibilities. Now, even Bertholdt and Reiner once mentioned here in this episode that they were just children. I think he was referring to the time when this started, that they were just children. I think I also talked about this possibility in that introduction, where I talked about the possibility that Reiner could be the Armored Titan. I think I mentioned the possibility that maybe they were children and that basically they were forced to do this. You know, maybe there's an organization, a group of people who are basically the enemies of the humanity, who want to basically make a genocide to kill humans. So let's say that such a maybe organization exists, such a group of people. You know, basically what? Terrorists, in a way, right? So maybe they have kidnapped, forced some children. You know, maybe Annie's father is the head, is the chief of this organization. And this organization found some children which they used them as experiment subjects. Maybe they tested this Titan transforming serum, and they have tried it on some children. Maybe some of these children have died because of that serum, you know? Like, it would make sense that these leaders of this group, maybe they didn't want to put that serum into themselves because it could result in their deaths. So as I said, they maybe kidnapped some children, they forced some children into doing this, they forced Annie, Reiner, Bertholdt, they injected that serum into them, and it seems as if it was successful, and then these 3 were manipulated to obey them, to obey this group, to obey Annie's father, to do what they want them to do, and that's why basically they attacked Wal Maria. Because you cannot tell me that 3 10-year-old children did that on their own. Like, I don't see 3 children deciding, yeah, let's go kill a large portion of the population. Like, I just don't believe that. It definitely, everything indicates to the fact that they were manipulated and forced to do this. The only thing which maybe would also make sense is if they're maybe much older than it seems. Like, because maybe if you're a Titan shifter, your lifespan becomes bigger, so you don't age that quickly. So maybe now Reiner and Bertholdt aren't 16, but they're actually, 30, you know? That's also a possibility, because the Titan shifting powers grant you a really high level of regeneration, which basically means your cells are able to divide at a high rate. So, and if that's possible, then that could mean that your lifespan is longer. But at the same time, they did age a bit from their training days until now. But it is a possibility, although I would really have to think about it if it works, that basically they age slower as normal humans. But the other possibility regarding Reiner and Bertholdt and also Annie is that they all originate from the same place from where Ymir does. I always talk about this theory of mine about a Titan shifting society. That there is a Titan shifting society unknown to humans somewhere in this world. So there's a possibility that Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie, just as Ymir, they all come from that society, they all live there. And maybe that society has a hatred for humans. I think that it's because of that society that Titans even exist, these regular looking Titans, because as I said, I think the Beast Titan is the one who was able to change humans into Titans, into regular looking Titans, just as he did with Connie's mother. So there's a high possibility that Titan shifters can make these regular looking Titans. So these regular looking Titans probably exist because of that Titan shifting society, because that Titan shifting society decided to create these Titans. And these Titans have been attacking and eating humans for now, over a century? So if this whole thing is true, my theory is true, then I think it's safe to say that those people from that society, they probably feel hatred towards humans. I don't know exactly why do they hate them, but that I guess could explain why maybe Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie were doing what they were doing. Although I somewhat doubt this. Reiner wasn't able to read that language on that food can from episode 4. Yeah, from episode 4. So if he really would originate from the same society as Ymir, wouldn't he be able to read that can? And also, I think that people in that Titan shifting society, so basically Titan shifters, are Titan shifters like from their birth. So I think Ymir was a Titan shifter like since her really early stages of her life. But I'm pretty sure that that's not the case with Reiner and Bertholdt, because if you look at Reiner's flashback, they were children at that time. Like, I don't know exactly the age, but they were really young. And that Titan A, who could also be Ymir, ate their friend. And if they would already be Titan shifter at that point, wouldn't one of them transform and save that friend? I don't believe that Reiner and Bertholdt are from that society. You know, and they're constantly talking about their hometown, which is in the mountains inside these walls, isn't it? So yeah, I think it feels a bit unlikely to me, but there is a possibility that maybe also Reiner and Bertholdt have both lived in the same society as Ymir. But as I said, there are a couple of things which suggest otherwise. And I have to say that I felt, at the end I felt so torn apart. That's the best way to describe it. Like, when Mikasa attacked them, when she cut both of them, it looked a bit as if maybe, especially with Bertholdt, it looked as if he will die, because she cut his throat. At the same time, I felt like worried because I don't want him to die. At the same time, I was like, yes, kill him. You know, I was so torn apart. Because, like Reiner said, that he is now prepared to, I think he said, answer for his crimes. And that they were children at that point. Like, and thinking about everything, it seems as if there's something I don't know. There's something I don't know. There is a reason. Of course there has to be a reason. They're definitely not insane. And I don't know how to best say, I think, how to describe it, but it was the same which I was saying with Annie, that it feels like maybe there's a special reason as to why they're doing this. Like, by that I mean that there's a reason which would explain everything, you know? I just have a feeling that I cannot really blame them. Maybe they're forced to attack humans, just as I was talking moments ago, you know? You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know what reason it could be, because I cannot think of any special reason which would make me actually agree with what Reiner and Bertholdt and Annie were doing. But at the same time, just looking at Reiner's personality, how he was always constantly saving people like Connie in the tower. He wanted to jump out of the window while he was carrying that Titan. And I don't think he was playing. I don't think he was pretending that he cares about other people. It seems as if he does care. His personality was one of the main arguments why I just didn't want to believe that he could possibly be the Armored Titan. So for a guy like him who has this personality, what could have made him convince to smash the gates of Wall Maria? You know, there has to be a really, really good reason that made him do what he did. That made them all do what they did. That's what makes me feel bad for them, you know? That's why I didn't want them to die. That's why I was worried when Mikasa tried to kill them. But on the other hand, I wanted Mikasa to kill them. Even if I assume that what Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie were doing was the right thing to do, that they have a really good justified reason as to why they attacked Wall Maria, I still don't support them. Like, no matter what the reason is, because you need to communicate these things. By that I mean, what right do Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie have to do these kind of things? These are human lives involved. You know, like here, for example, this is the example with what I don't agree with Reiner, Bertholdt, and also Annie, of course, because it seems like she also wanted to kidnap Eren for some reasons. It seems as if they want to kidnap him, take him to some place, show him something. It seems like what they want to show him is in their hometown. But you cannot just say that to Eren, you know? Why didn't they explain to him? Why did Reiner just say, yeah, you need to come with us, you know? I'm the I'm the Armored Titan, he's the Colossal Titan. Basically, we attacked humanity. We are responsible for the fall of Wall Maria. So now, please go with us. But we cannot explain why. You know what I'm saying? Why would anyone in hell trust them? It's literally their fault that Eren's mother died. It's literally their fault that so many people died. And now, do you think that Eren would believe them? Like, even if, as I said, even if their reason is justified, why didn't they explain to Eren why? If Reiner was already prepared to reveal to Eren that he's the Armored Titan, why wasn't he prepared to just tell him the truth? To just tell him why he needs him? To see then if Eren will agree with him? That's my problem. No one will ever trust them, you know? They're basically at fault for how many lives? Countless lives. Like, if we look at every consequence, as I said, from Eren's mother to even Armin's grandfather, there's so many people dead because of them. That I think it's justified that Eren reacted in a way he did. Knowing Eren, you know, I mean, come on, this has to really piss him off. And you know, if you think about it, this show has been really hard on Eren. Like, especially, like, considering his personality. Like, his mother died in front of him as he was watching when he was a kid. His father just gave him that serum and disappeared and never showed up again. Then he realized that even Annie is the female Titan. And he has seen with his own eyes Annie in her Titan form killing people. The members of the Leeway squad, you know. And now for him to learn that Bertholdt and even Reiner, as he said, Reiner was to them like a big brother. That they both are Titans, and not just Titan shifters. They both are the Colossal and Armored Titan. Like, it couldn't be worse. And then if you think about it, that Reiner and Bertholdt could have actually helped humanity in such a way, in such a great way. Like, imagine Reiner, Annie, Bertholdt, Eren, and even Ymir teaming up. Like, they would literally save the world. And so basically Eren now needs to even fight against them. And they were close friends, and like, just thinking about this whole thing, Eren is going through some really tough things. Like, and even he cried before transforming. Like, it really sucks to see what is happening to him. So I think no matter what, definitely for now, I am on his side. Of course, I want to know the truth. Of course, want to know why Reiner and Bertholdt have attacked Wall Maria. And it's not like they stopped. Like, even at the Battle of Trust. Like, yeah, the Armored Titan wasn't seen in a long time, but the Colossal Titan appeared at the Battle of Trust. Then they both were leaking information to Annie in her female Titan form. And she has killed a lot of soldiers in that expedition. So even if that theory of mine is in a way true, that they were forced when they were children and that maybe they are now regretting the things they have done, at the same time, they're still doing this. Maybe they're still forced and now they want to make things better. Like, I don't know, it's confusing. I definitely need a lot of more information. I definitely need to think a lot more about this. It also seems as my camera is going to die out in a few seconds, so yeah, I think for today I'm done, and I will film the episode breakdown tomorrow. But yeah, I'm definitely lost for words. Even though this was something that was a possibility in my eyes, at the same time, I just didn't want to believe it. Especially for Reiner, like, man. It is what it is now, I guess. I can't believe that I already have learned the identity of the Colossal and Armored Titan. So the only mysterious Titan user is the Beast Titan at this moment. So yeah, that's interesting. So now I'll continue and go through this episode chronologically. So I got a sense that this episode continued moments after where the previous one ended. So I don't think anything significant happened off screen between the 5th and 6th episode. So all of these characters were trying to get on the top of the wall. Some were using those wooden lifts, some were using the maneuvering gear to reach the top. They also lifted Ymir on the top of the wall. And speaking of Ymir, it seems as if she's alive. Judging by the way that Soldier and Eren were talking, and then judging by that Hanji then said that they will have to send her to Trust so that she gets a proper treatment. I think she's alive. She'll probably survive this, which is definitely great because I hope that she will survive. I was clearly divided in the previous episode because the whole feeling of that end scene of episode 5 felt as if this was a farewell between Historia and Ymir. But luckily she will probably survive this whole thing, and it'll be interesting to see for how long she will be unconscious. I mean, knowing this show, I have a feeling that she will be out for a long time, especially because she knows probably a ton of information, just like Annie does, and she also will probably be out for a very long time. Like there even isn't a guarantee that she'll ever exit that crystal. Maybe she's dead, you know? Maybe even Ymir will never awaken, or maybe she will, but will have a memory loss. Like there are a ton of different possibilities regarding this situation. So after they have lifted Ymir on the top of the wall, Historia and Hanji had a conversation. So Hanji asked Historia if her full name is Historia Rice, and she also asked if her last name Rice stands for the noble family Rice, and Historia said yes. So I think this confirms that noble families do exist, and yeah, this definitely proves that Historia is the daughter of a nobleman. It still could be the king. It's still Rice could be the royal family. I'm definitely not discarding this possibility, but I'm not so sure anymore. So by that I mean that, like, if you watched my previous discussion, you know that I was leaning towards the possibility that her father is the king, that she's the heir to the throne. But now seeing Hanji's reaction, like, wouldn't she react a bit differently if Historia would have been the daughter of the king? I don't know, like, I'm just saying that I'm not so sure anymore that she's the daughter of the king, but I'm definitely not saying that this possibility is dead. There's definitely still a possibility that Historia is the heir to the throne, that she is the daughter of the king. At the end of their conversation, Hanji grabbed her Historia's shoulder and said, "Nice to meet you, Historia." I just want to say that through this whole episode, and not just this episode, like, especially in this season on, I like that we're seeing this part of Hanji. This part where she's showing as a leader. Like in season 1, I never had a sense that she's extremely intelligent. I never had a sense that she has good leadership traits. I don't know what's the best way to describe how she was portrayed in season 1. Like, I'm not saying that in season 1 she wasn't a leader or anything like that. I'm just saying that we haven't seen a lot of that from her. Like, mostly it was Arvin or Levi who were in charge. And for the most part, when they had some operation, Hanji was just trying to enjoy killing titans. She had a lot of comedy scenes. Like, I'm not saying that she's a comic relief character, I'm not saying that, but at least I never really took her seriously because of her obsession with titans, because of her sometimes dangerous decision making, you know, which was really evident in Ilsa's notebook. Although I know this is not season 1, but still, I'm just saying that there in Ilsa's notebook, when she tried to go on her own and find the Titan, when Olo almost died because of that, Levi reacted really angrily. I'm saying that I haven't taken her seriously as a leader before season 2, but now, like, I'm really impressed with her leadership skills. I have to say that. The way she handled Priest Nick in the first few episodes, she's showing flashes of being brilliant, like her idea on how to fix the wall, that they should use Eren's powers. She was a major factor in the conversation which they had when they were talking about Reiner and Bertholdt possibly being traitors. And then she has this great feel for other humans. Just like here when she said to Historia, nice to meet you, like it seems as if she has a good understanding of how she should interact with other people. As I said, everything which I now mentioned just shows that she definitely has some great leadership skills, which she's showcasing in this season. And also want to mention this, that it's really interesting that in a way these, how should I say, older senior members of the Survey Corps somewhat resemble our younger characters, our younger main characters. Like by that I mean that Erwin resembles Eren, Levi resembles Mikasa, and Hanji resembles Armin. Like not literally, like each of these characters is his own character. They're in some ways completely different from each another. But I'm just saying that if you look from a symbolic way, you can say that basically Armin represents Hanji because of his intelligence, Mikasa represents Levi because of her skills, and Eren represents Erwin because of their desire to save the humanity. I don't know if this was done intentionally, but I definitely see some similarities between these characters. And I'll come back to this topic later on. So now let's continue. And as the story was moving on, Hannes arrived. And he brought the message that there isn't a hole, that they haven't found any hole on Walrose, which definitely shocked our characters. Even Eren said that, are they sure? And he said to Hannes if he was maybe drunk when he was looking for the hole. That's definitely a nice throwback moment, if I can say so. I still remember, I think it was in episode 1, when Hannes was slightly drunk. And Eren reacted really angrily to that because they were drinking alcohol while they were on their duty as soldiers. Everyone was shocked because of what Hannes has told. So Hanji then decided that they have no other choice than just to retreat back to Trust. And after that, the whole reveal about Reiner and Bertholdt started to unfold. So I have to say that this whole episode was tense. There was tension in the air. There was a feeling that something bad will happen. Something will go wrong. Especially because of the things like Armin and Eren looking really suspiciously at Bertholdt and Reiner. It seemed as if they were suspecting something about Reiner and Bertholdt, which was weird to me because I didn't understand why. Why would they be so suspicious about Reiner and Bertholdt? There were some weird things happening which I initially didn't understand, and something felt off with this episode. I knew that something will happen. Something wrong will happen. And yeah, they were definitely acting in this weird way because, as it was then later on confirmed, that the night before they decided to go to that castle, they talked about the possibility of Reiner and Bertholdt being traitors. That's why Armin and Eren were both really suspiciously looking at Bertholdt and Reiner. So yeah, Reiner was in a bad mood, it seemed. He felt messed up because of what happened in the castle when the Titan bit him. And then Eren mentioned their hometown of Reiner and Bertholdt. I think he said something in the lines that it must be tough for them because they're moving further and further away from their hometown. Reiner was looking into that puddle of rain. He has seen his reflection inside and he was, I don't know, how should I say, surprised, shocked. I don't know why did he react the way he did. And I don't even know to what has he reacted. Was he shocked by the reflection he has seen in the water because he has seen himself? Was he shocked because Eren reminded him of his hometown? That's definitely something that I'm not sure why specifically Reiner reacted in the way he did, because even then it seemed as if Bertholdt noticed Reiner's reaction and then just Bertholdt started to say that they should just go home. To me at that point it was definitely suspicious as I was watching because, of course at that point I wasn't aware of Reiner and Bertholdt being the Armored and Colossal Titan, and it really was weird to me that they would want to like go home right now, because as far as I know, their hometown is in the mountains between Val Maria and Val Rossa, which means that that territory is occupied by Titans. Like, why would they want to go home now if it isn't safe, if they made a choice to join the Sorry Corps? So that's why I immediately was against being suspicious of Bertholdt. And what was then even more surprising to me was that Reiner agreed with Bertholdt, which I didn't really expect, you know, especially considering that it always seemed as if Reiner is really loyal to being a soldier, really loyal to the cause of the Sorry Corps. Even Eren and Armin were surprised by this. They said, what are you guys talking about? That's what Armin and Eren were questioning. And then, as they were slowly trying to retreat back to trust, Reiner asked Eren if he has a minute available because they need to talk. That was then the point where Reiner revealed his secret, that he's the Armored and Bertholdt the Colossal Titan, and from that point on, and like until the end of this episode, there was a lot of new information revealed regarding their past and this whole situation regarding the Armored, Colossal and Female Titan. And also because of this whole reveal, my view, my perception about some things which happened in the past changed. So by that I mean some things which Reiner and Bertholdt did, some of the previous episodes, now I think have a different meaning. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of things to talk about. Because of some past events and because of some new reveals, I have a lot of ideas, questions and some theories about the Armored Female and Colossal Titan, with things like their past, their goals. And I already did talk about this a bit in my post-reaction thoughts, but now at this point I have already edited my reaction, and that really helps with noticing some new details and also confirming some things which I have seen. Like, you know, when I initially watched, I wasn't 100% sure if Reiner really said something. So now I definitely have a lot of ideas and questions regarding the Armored Female and Colossal Titan, and I'll talk about this after I go chronologically through the episode, because I don't want to stop and comment on each line which Reiner said, because it will just take too much time and at the end it will just get repetitive, you know. So what I'll do now is I'll continue with this episode breakdown. I will still comment on some things, but regarding all the questions about the female Armored and Colossal Titan, I will talk about this like right after I go chronologically through this episode. So as Reiner revealed this secret, Eren was of course shocked. Reiner didn't really explain to him why he needs to go with them. He just said that if he goes with them, it will make the situation a lot easier, a lot of lives will be saved, that their initial goal was to assure the destruction of humanity, but if Eren goes with them, then they won't need to do that anymore. Of course, Eren was, just as he said, a bit lost and started to think, and then we were shown what happened. I think it was 12 hours prior to these events. So Hanji basically received the background information about Annie and realized that Bertholdt and Reiner come from the same area, and then she, Armin, Eren and basically everyone who was in that building, they had that conversation and they tried to figure out if they really could potentially be the traitors. Armin said that Reiner was trying to figure out Eren's position when they were in that formation, when they were on that outside expedition. He realized that as soon as Reiner escaped from the palms of Annie, that she changed the direction in where she was running and she was then going directly to Eren, and she was also staring at her hand, so he was thinking that there's a possibility that Reiner actually has written a message into her hands. Also, the female Titans started to attack the right flank, and Reiner and Bertholdt were the ones who were told that the right flank is where Eren is. So yeah, everything started to make sense. Eren was just in disbelief, he didn't want to believe, and of course it's reasonable. He viewed them as friends, he viewed Reiner as a big brother, so he didn't really want to believe that that could be the case. Then we returned to like the future. Eren then just started to play dumb and said to Reiner that This whole thing is going into his head, that he's going crazy. And the reactions of Reiner and Bertholdt were just giving away that, yeah, he actually was telling the truth. And then Reiner decided that he will just do it, that he will just do it there, that he will transform. As he was talking, he said that he lived for 3 years now, surrounded by idiots. He said that at the time they were just kids, they didn't know anything. And he also said that he wished that he never would have known that such people exist, because then he wouldn't become such a piece of shit. He also said that he doesn't know what's the right thing to do right now. That's why he doesn't have any option left than just fulfill his duty as a warrior. And then his arm started to regenerate, everyone saw that, and I have to say that's really interesting. Because this is one of the reasons why I didn't believe that he's a Titan shifter. Because he was injured, he didn't transform, he also didn't regenerate. So I guess this proves that you can regenerate at will, that if you don't want to regenerate, you won't. It's definitely a new interesting piece of information. And I have to say that from that moment when his arm regenerated and like to the moment where the lightning struck them, wow, that scene, I mean, everything that happened during this part, this scene was super emotional. Super, like, I can't really describe how I really felt, but I was just stunned. Like, if you watch my reaction, I didn't say a word through that whole scene. And it was just amazingly done. Like, the first thing is that as soon as Reiner regenerated, that was then the ultimate proof that he really is the Armored Titan. And then when things started to go off and Bertholdt said, "Are we doing it here right now?" Reiner then said yes, wanted to approach Eren. Then Mikasa jumped in and she wanted to kill Reiner and Bertholdt. And then Reiner pushed her off and then the lightning was starting to gather. Like, everything was so emotionally packed. And the thing which elevates this scene was the music. I think this is the first time hearing this music. Like, I don't think they have included this music before. Like, already for me, I remember some soundtracks which are iconic to me. The music when Carla died, the music when Mikasa decided that she has to live because of Eren's memory, the female Titan music, the soundtrack when Armin's grandfather died, the music when Eren sealed the hole of trust. There's already a lot of memorable soundtracks which I can think of, but this I think is a completely new soundtrack and I love it. Like, I think just the fact that it is new, it fits perfectly this scene, because this scene feels, I don't know how to exactly say, unique, taboo. I don't know if taboo is the right word, but it feels like seeing an alien. Like, that's the best thing I can think of. Like, seeing something, a paranormal creature. It's like, yeah, you're aware of the possibility that maybe you will see an alien, but at the same time, you just don't want to believe it. You think that it's impossible, you know. I just didn't want to believe that Reiner and Bertholdt, like, I was aware of this possibility that they are Titan shifters, but I was pretty sure that they're not the Colossal and Armored Titan. And the whole thing felt as a once-in-a-life moment, as a super unique moment, and that's why, I don't know if this was made on purpose, but that's why the music was so fitting to me, because it just embodied, really summed up the feelings which I had as I was watching that scene. And that music at the same time sounded a bit heroic and also in a way mystic. The whole scene was really well done and it was a great scene, but the music is what elevates it to another level. And then they transformed, they were struck by the lightning, Reiner grabbed Eren, tried to just run away. The interesting part here is that Bertholdt didn't fully transform, like, or maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but it seems as if he didn't have any legs. It was just some bones which he created, and those bones are stuck to the wall, so basically now he's static, he's stuck on the top of the wall. Maybe he will fully transform in the next episode, but if he won't, then I don't know what's he trying to achieve. Like, even in episode 5, he had to escape. Eren almost, killed him, because he's really slow. The Colossal Titan is large, yes, and he's strong, definitely, but he's super slow. So I think, considering that there are a lot of soldiers there and that you also have some really good soldiers like Hanji and Mikasa, like I think he would die if he would now try to fight them on that top of the wall. So I don't know what exactly he's trying to achieve, unless he maybe is trying to give Reiner some time and basically sacrificing himself to make sure that Reiner will succeed. Although he also caught Ymir. And I thought that he caught Ymir because they also want to take Ymir with them to their hometown. Or maybe he just caught Ymir because she would die because of the wind. And he didn't want that to happen. Like, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that. But it's definitely interesting that he didn't fully transform. And then as Reiner was sliding down the wall, Eren was remembering their times and their times together. And he cried like, man, I feel so bad for him. And then Eren said, you damn traitors, and transformed. Let us now talk about my theories, ideas, and mostly questions regarding like everything about the armored female and colossal titan. So I will start off by talking about something which I'm pretty sure about. And that is that Reiner, Bertholdt, and Annie did not acquire these powers and they did not start attacking humans on their own. So what I'm trying to say is that someone else is responsible for those things to happen. So probably someone else, like I said, probably a group of people forced and manipulated them into doing these things. And I know I talked about this already in my post-reaction thoughts, but I'll just expand on here a little bit. And there are a couple of reasons which suggest that this is the case. So the first thing is that I just don't believe that 3 10-year-old kids would decide on their own to join forces and assure the destruction of humanity. It doesn't make sense, and also, I don't believe that they acquired these powers on coincidence. And I'm pretty sure that they didn't have these powers like from their birth. So someone definitely gave them these powers. Someone injected the serum into them. Then the other thing is that Reiner said that they were just children at the time, that they didn't know anything, and that he wishes that he never would have known that such people exist, because then he wouldn't become such a piece of shit. I think he was implying that as when he was a child, he was manipulated into doing these things. So it's safe to assume that the same thing happened with Bertholdt and Annie. Again comes the question, who was forcing these children to become Titan shifters? I don't exactly know. Like, it could be anyone, it could be the religious leaders, it could be Krista's father, like, there are tons of possibilities. I'm not really sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that there is a person or a group of people who's responsible for this, who manipulated with children and was forcing them to become Titan shifters. And I'm definitely leaning to the possibility that it's a group of people, because this whole thing, this whole idea to assure the destruction of humanity, I don't know, I just don't believe that it's just one person behind this. I think this is a really hard task to do, to try to make humans go extinct. So I think there's a group of people who have the ideology that humans need to die. Now I don't know why, I don't know what benefits they would gain by killing every human, but I think that such a group exists. And if such a group of people exist, then I'm pretty sure that Annie's father was a part of it, or maybe the founder or the leader of such a group. Like, I'm pretty sure that he has to play a role, at least in Annie gaining her powers. Judging by the flashbacks of Annie and what he said, and also they didn't want to show his face to us, so he definitely is involved in some way or another in Annie and possibly also Reiner and Bertholdt gaining these powers. So at the beginning, when they were kids, they were definitely, well, not definitely, but I'm quite sure that they were manipulated and forced into becoming Titan shifters, and they were forced to work for, as I said, possibly a group of people. And they were forced then to attack Walmaria. They were forced to try to make humans go extinct. And I'm pretty sure that that was the goal, because that's what Reiner said. He said that when they started the attack on Walmaria, their goal was to destroy humanity. So that's definitely their goal. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that this was the case when they were children. But my next question is, what about now? Like, they have grown. They are not kids anymore. And all of them three, especially, I guess, together, they're really strong. By that I mean Annie, Reiner, and Bertholdt. So, my question now is, are they still being forced and manipulated? Or are they doing this because they want to do this? Because they think that that's the right thing to do? And I really don't know which option is more likely right now. Because at the same time, judging by their personalities, like especially Reiner's, would you think that he would agree with someone who has the idea of killing humans? So it would make sense that they're forced to do this. But at the same time, they're so strong and powerful because they're Titan shifters. So who could possibly be forcing them if they're so strong? Like, you know, both options are open. So let's first assume that they're being forced. And as I said, because of the fact that they're really strong, we have to ask ourselves a question. Who can force them to do anything? There are, I think, two possibilities. The first possibility is that maybe that group of people which forced them into doing these things in the first place, that maybe that group of people has kidnapped, taken hostage, maybe their family members, and their family members will maybe die if they will not obey that group of people. That's one option. The other option could be that maybe they fear the person or the people who are responsible for them acquiring powers in the first place. So again, maybe that group of people which forced them to become Titan shifters is maybe a group of Titan shifters, you know, maybe powerful Titan shifters. You know, maybe whoever is forcing them is extremely powerful. And they're afraid of him because if they won't obey him, then he will kill them. Or they will kill them. If maybe it's a group of people which they are afraid of. And maybe that's why Bertholdt thinks that Eren could help him if he goes with them. And also we have to be aware that Reiner and Bertholdt are at this point not aware with what happened with Annie. So maybe Reiner thinks that if him, Bertholdt, Ymir and Eren and also Annie join forces, that they together are strong enough to beat the person or people who are forcing them to do such things. So for example, if Annie's father is the one who forced Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie to become Titan shifters, who forced them to attack Wall Maria, maybe he's the one who forced them to do these things, and maybe he is a super strong Titan shifter, maybe his Titan form is almost unbeatable, and Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie are afraid of him, and now Reiner thinks that if Eren and also Ymir help them, that maybe those five will together be strong enough to defeat Annie's father. You know, this is a possibility. So yeah, I think these are the options if we assume that Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie were forced, or rather are still forced, to try to destroy humanity. But on the other hand, we still can look from the perspective that maybe they want to destroy humanity because they agree with the ideas, they agree with the benefits, they agree with the goal which they would potentially achieve by destroying humanity. So now let's look at this. We know their personalities, especially Reiner's, so let's just look at Reiner for a moment. So if there is such a reason which would justify killing humans, basically killing every human, so if there's a reason which justifies that killing humans is a good thing, and for someone like Reiner to agree with such a reason, then it has to be a damn good reason. It has to be a really, really good reason for a person like Reiner to agree with it. So now let's think about the possibilities. What is better than death? Because they, as Reiner said, maybe I'm misunderstanding him, but he said that they wanted to destroy humanity, so they want to kill everyone, right? So basically they want to bring death to everyone. So here's the question, what is better than death? I think some people would say nothing. I think you can say that in some cases, suffering. And I don't know if I deleted it or not, but I know that in a introduction, which already was extremely long, so I don't know if I deleted this part, but I know that I talked and thought about the possibility that when you transform into a classic looking Titan, into that ordinary looking Titan, that maybe it feels like being in hell. I thought about this especially because of what happened to Connie's mother. So I think that when you're a classic Titan, when you get transformed into a classic standard Titan, you suffer for eternity, because there are a couple of things which suggest that. Now, the first thing is that you feel nothing. You know, you don't need to eat, you don't need to breathe, you don't need to sleep. Like, the only thing is that you need to be powered by the sunlight, and you live forever, and you have then that weird tendency to be attracted to humans, to try to eat them. And at the same time, maybe you're aware of everything. Maybe you're aware of everything that's happening. Or at least to some degree, you know, because Connie's mother recognized him and said, "Welcome home." If we look at the Titan in Ilse's notebook, he was able to communicate with Ilse, and he also thought that Ilse is Ymir. And then when Ilse was asking him why are they eating them, why are they attacking them, he felt like as if he was suffering inside, as if he was in pain. He was moaning, and then he came to the point where he just tore off his skin off his face. So I think it's safe to assume that being a standard looking Titan is basically suffering for eternity, basically being in hell. And then now if we look at the Beast Titan, basically he's the one who's probably responsible for all those people to change into Titans. And is maybe that the reason why Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie were trying to kill every human? Because they were aware that one day the Beast Titan will appear and that he will try to change every human into a Titan, which then basically means that all of these humans will become his puppets, his soldiers, his minions, and at the same time all of these people will suffer for eternity. So is maybe this the fate from which Reiner, Bertholdt and Annie were trying to save the humanity? And again, maybe the Beast Titan is an extremely strong Titan. So again, that's why maybe Reiner thought that if Eren comes with them, that he, Annie, Bertholdt, Ymir and Eren will be strong enough to kill the Beast Titan, and then they won't need to kill every human, you know. So the idea of this whole thing is that maybe them killing humans is basically them being merciful, I guess, maybe. Still, even if this is the reason, I still wouldn't agree with it. But for now, it's the best reason which I can come up with that I think would maybe make some people, like someone like Reiner, decide to start attacking humans, I guess. But yeah, this is the first thing overall which I wanted to talk about. Oh, and the next thing which I want to talk about is basically a question. So my question is, have Reiner and Bertholdt lied about their hometown and their past? Especially Reiner, I don't believe that he lied about his attachment to his hometown, that he wants to get home. But have they lied about the location of their hometown? Have they lied about what happened? They probably did, right? Because let's look at this. From what we know so far, if what Reiner and Bertholdt said in the 3rd episode was that they lived in the mountains between Wall Rosa and Wall Maria, and because they live in mountains, the message about Titans breaching Wall Maria came to them really late, so they did not expect any Titans to attack them. And then they showed like a scene where Bertholdt opened the window and there was a Titan outside. But was this made up? Because it doesn't make sense if you think about it. They were the ones who breached the wall. Like, they knew that the Titans were coming before anyone else. So there's no way in hell they were surprised that their hometown was attacked. And at the same time, Reiner is really fond of his hometown. So, and if he really loves his hometown so much, why would he allow his hometown to be attacked by Titans? So this doesn't really add up together. I think they lied about this. I definitely think that, yeah, they miss their hometown, but I don't think that that's the location of their hometown. It could be somewhere outside of the walls, especially if Reiner and Bertholdt are both a part of that society which Ymir is. But if it is inside these walls, then it is somewhere between probably the area between Walrosa and Walshina. That's what I believe, at least. The next question which I have is, why do they need Eren? Like, I already talked about this a bit, but it seems as if Reiner, Annie and Bertholdt really need Eren on their side. Now, because we know that the female Titan's goal was to capture Eren, and here, right now, like, Reiner even said to Eren, come with us. As I said, I talked about this a bit before, and I said that maybe they need him, because with his help they will be able to defeat someone, potentially the person who is forcing them to do these things. But other than that, I cannot think of a reason why would they need him. Why would they need Eren specifically? Now I think that Reiner had the plan to bring Eren with him to his hometown and then show him something, which would then help Reiner justify his actions. And then would make Eren agree with him and join him in his quest to achieve whatever he wants to achieve with Eren, I guess. But again, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know why specifically they need Eren, except if they need his help as a fighter. But other than that, I need a lot more information to think of any theories regarding this question. Then the next question is, what is the meaning behind this message? You know, in episode 4, when Bertholdt accused Reiner of being a soldier and not a warrior anymore, and now here he himself said that he needs to fulfill his duty as a warrior. Maybe it's my fault that I'm not completely understanding this, but I don't know, I think I need a bit more information regarding this. Like, my first idea was that maybe Reiner tried to stop. Like, maybe he didn't want to do this anymore, maybe he didn't want to try to destroy humanity anymore. That maybe during the days when they were training, he truly became a part of the army, he truly became a soldier, and didn't want to kill humans anymore. And maybe that's why Bertholdt accused him of becoming a soldier, because he didn't want to fulfill their duty, their original goal anymore. There are some things which suggest that this could be the case. Like, if we remember the Battle of Trust, the Armored Titan did not appear. I don't know if I talked about this, but I know that it was weird to me that he did not appear. The Colossal did, so Bertholdt did his job, he destroyed the gate of the village of the district of Trust, but the Armored Titan did not appear. Now, of course, maybe he did not want to appear like exactly after the appearance of the Colossal Titan. Sure, that could be the case. But at the same time, there was a lot of time that passed between when Bertholdt destroyed the gate and then to the point where Eren sealed the gate with the rock. Because at the beginning of the battle, it was a normal sunny day, and towards the end, sun was already setting. So it's like, there was plenty of time for Reiner to act, but he did not. And then in the first episode of this season, then all of these Titans appeared, and when these young recruits were informed by Nanaba that the Titans are approaching, the first thing which Reiner did was look at Bertholdt, and he had a paranoid face and said, was Walrosa breached? Of course, maybe he was afraid that if Walrosa is destroyed, that maybe the Titans destroyed the wall, not the gate, which would mean that maybe the wall Titans would awaken. I talked about this possibility, that the armored female and Colossal Titan are afraid of these wall Titans, because when they destroyed Wall Maria, they haven't literally destroyed Wall Maria, they destroyed the gate only. So yeah, this is a possibility that's why Reiner was shocked, but maybe he was shocked because he just didn't want humans to die anymore. Because he really didn't want any other wall to fall again. Maybe he changed his ideology, his mentality, you know? And also, like, here in this castle, when we first have seen his flashback about his childhood, when that Titan destroyed the door and was trying to somewhat hit Reiner, Reiner remembered the flashback and also said, "Is this it?" So he expected to die, right? Because we heard his mind, his ideas. He expected to die. So maybe was he maybe trying to forget that he's the Armored Titan? Was he trying to pretend that he isn't the Armored Titan? Was he trying to forget this past of him? Maybe he really wanted to stop this. Maybe he really wanted to stop killing humans. And it would be understandable considering his personality, and considering what Bertholdt said to him, that he became a soldier and that he's not a warrior anymore. But at the same time, one thing which is weird here is that if Reiner really decided that he will stop doing this, that he won't try to achieve the goal of destroying humans anymore, why did he then help Annie when she was the female Titan? So I think this is the thing which confuses me a bit, because if he really decided to stop, then he wouldn't cooperate with them anymore. But it was him who told her the location of Eren. So yeah, this is my idea, that maybe Reiner wanted to stop trying to achieve this goal which Annie, Bertholdt and him had. And that's why Bertholdt called him a soldier. But I don't know, the female story arc suggests otherwise. It suggests that he was still trying to achieve this, he was still cooperating with them. I don't know, I definitely need to think about it, and I definitely need more information to truly understand the message behind him now being a warrior instead of a soldier. And now here's just one thing which I want to comment on, which is connected with Reiner and happened, I can't quite remember, but I think it was the 9th or the 10th episode. It was the episode where they tried to execute Eren with the cannon, and when Eren transformed, some of the soldiers saw that steam, and one of the soldiers was also Bertholdt. And Bertholdt at that point wasn't aware from where does that steam come from. He wasn't aware if it was a Titan, if it was a Titan shifter. He definitely wasn't aware that it's Eren who transformed. So he didn't know what it was, but he probably came to the conclusion that it's a Titan because of the steam. What is interesting here is his reaction. He looked a bit paranoid. Because again, I remember, my initial feelings when I watched that scene were that steam reminded him on the time when his hometown was attacked. But now knowing that that he was the Armored Titan, that just means that it's not possible that he would be an innocent 10-year-old living in his village, and that then he would be surprised and shocked by an attack of Titans. It doesn't make sense. So why did he react in the way he did? I really don't know why. Could it be that maybe because he saw that steam, that maybe he was afraid that there's another Titan shifter? Maybe he was afraid that it's, I don't know, as I said earlier, maybe he was aware of the Beast Titan, maybe he thought that in that case the Beast Titan appeared, and maybe, and maybe he fears the power level of the Beast Titan. Like, I don't know. I really don't know why he reacted the way he did, because I know, again, I remember he was paranoid, and then he was running like straight to that area where that steam was coming from, and even I think Jean said to him that he should slow down. I don't know, I really don't know. Maybe I forgot something which also happened back then, but I don't know. That's the only thing which I can say. I think I covered most of the things regarding them. I don't know if I missed anything, what I wanted to say about them. There were a lot of details in this episode, so if I missed anything regarding Reiner and Bertholdt's reveal, then you feel free to highlight that in the comment section. And before I finish talking about them, I just want to say that I think, or rather I truly believe, that there's no happy ending for any of these three. I don't want to be pessimistic or anything, but that's just how I see it, Look, yes, I said that there's a possibility that there could be a reason which would justify their actions. Their actions will be justified, that people will forgive them for what they did in the past. Even if such a scenario happens, that they will be able and will be given an opportunity to live a normal life, which I don't think will happen, but if that happens, I still don't believe that they will ever truly be happy. Can you have a normal life? Can you wake up knowing that you killed so many people, that you ruined so many lives? Just look at Reiner, and that's a bit, in a way, he's being a hypocrite, if you think about it. He's constantly saying how he misses his hometown, and then if you remember his flashback about his friend where a Titan eats his friend, and then how pissed he was when he has seen Ymir's Titan form, because her Titan form is almost identical to the Titan from his flashback. He's angry because a Titan ate his friend. He's angry because he misses his hometown. Is he aware how many people live having the exact same, if not even worse, feelings than him? And he's responsible for that? What I'm trying to say, even like Eren, because of this whole thing, because Annie, Bertholdt and Reiner attacked Wall Maria, that's why Eren was never able to return to his hometown. That's why he, with his own eyes, has seen his mother die. How many lives were lost because of them? How many lives were ruined because of them? I don't know, man. I think that no matter what, I don't think they will ever be able to live a normal life. A happy normal life. I don't think, which is sad, because I still like them. Look, I don't hate them. I never did. And it's so hard for me because, as I said, Reiner was truly becoming one of my favorites. That's just the reality of this whole thing. There's high possibility that they die, go to jail, or live in an exile, but I don't believe that they will ever be able to truly settle down, have a family, live a happy life. It pains me to say this, and I hope that I'm wrong, but at least now, being here at this point, from this perspective, I'm just not seeing it. Anyways, let's talk about the information card. This information card was about those wooden lifts. It said that it helped them to lift things or humans on the top of the wall, and it's super easy to assemble them. And they also are great for if they're traveling to any places. So yeah, definitely an interesting information, which gives just an additional insight into the Servicore, but I don't think I have to comment too much on this. And my predictions for the upcoming episode, I believe that it will continue where it left. There will be a battle between Eren and Reiner, and possibly also Bertholdt. Unless if we will have a flashback episode about Reiner and Bertholdt's childhood, or maybe if we will follow Erwin, Levi and Jean. Those are some different possibilities, but I think that we will, or at least I hope that we will continue here, because I truly want to find out what will happen next. I also fear that there's a really high possibility that Reiner or Bertholdt, or maybe both of them, die in the next episode. It will be definitely hard to watch their fight, but as I said, I'll definitely root for Eren. But yeah, I don't really see any other option than these, which I just mentioned, for what could happen in the next episode. For my final thoughts, I would just like to talk about something that I mentioned earlier in the episode breakdown. You know, when I said that I will talk about it again, that Hanji somewhat resembles Armin, Erwin, Eren, and Levi, Mikasa. Another thing which you can also look at is that Bertholdt resembles Armin, Annie resembles Mikasa, and Reiner resembles Eren. Each of them is a unique character, but in a way you can see some similarities. You know, Reiner, just like Eren, is trying to do the right thing. Bertholdt seems to be a really intelligent person, the same as Armin. And Annie seems like a cold-blooded fighter, which reminds me of Mikasa. So there are definitely resemblances between them. Of course, I don't think that in the grand scheme this means anything. You know, maybe this wasn't even done intentionally, but sometimes you can look at symbols, and with that you can figure out what's going to happen. Like, for example, here we can assume that maybe also Armin and Mikasa are Titan shifters, because Annie, Bertholdt, and Reiner are all Titan shifters. Here you only have Eren. So is there a possibility that also Armin and Mikasa are? Especially because there were some hints regarding Mikasa being a Titan shifter. When they were in the court and Eren had his trial, someone accused her of being a Titan shifter. And then as a child, Mikasa also had some strange visions. And it's interesting because, I don't remember the last time when we have seen anything regarding this, you know. At the beginning, there were a lot of things which were hinting that there's something odd about Mikasa, that she maybe possesses some special powers. But now if you think about it, I don't know if I remember correctly or not, but the episode when she was a kid, when Eren was shouting to her, you know, when they kidnapped her and Eren was shouting, fight, that she needs to fight. Am I crazy? Or was there the yellow lightning? Like the yellow lightning, so it didn't struck her, but like her brain and around her there was the yellow lightning, and even she not destroyed, but she made a hole in the ground. Is she a Titan shifter? Well, if she is, I'm pretty sure that she's not aware of it. I don't believe that Mikasa would be a Titan shifter and lying to Eren. And now if you think about it, wasn't Eren's father visiting them regularly? Like really often? If I'm not mistaken. Was maybe Mikasa his test subject? Did he maybe inject that serum into her when she was a child? And that's why maybe he didn't hesitate when he decided to adopt her, because he knew that she's a Titan shifter. That's really interesting. And speaking of Eren's father, the more I think about him, the more questions I get about him. I really won't talk now about Eren's father because nothing happened connected with him, but it's so strange that even until now, because we don't know if he died or not, but even now, why didn't he appear again? Like, I don't know. Also, I will just say this, that maybe I should have said this at the beginning of this video. But anyways, I'll just say it now here, that maybe at the time when this video will be uploaded, maybe I will have a Discord server available. Like someone suggested to me in the comment sections that I should make a Discord server. I never had a Discord, but I heard of it before and now I did some research on it. It seems like a good site where you all would be able to contact me, contact my friend, the moderator, where I would be able to keep you updated with anything regarding my videos, if it will be uploaded late, or if maybe I will have a chance to upload a few days earlier. So we are now in the stage of trying to take our time to really make a Discord server, and if a Discord server will be available at the time when this video will be uploaded, then I will leave a link in the comment section, and you all are invited to join the Discord. Of course, I'm not forcing anyone, right? I'm not forcing anyone to subscribe, to follow me on Twitter, or now join Discord. But I'll just say this, that, you know, I definitely would really appreciate it. And not because I'm greedy and I want to have lots of followers on Twitter or lots of members on a Discord server. It's just that it's a lot more practical if I'm able to communicate with you on some other platforms. You know, as I said, I could keep you on that Discord server. I would be able to keep you updated regarding everything with my videos. If maybe in a worst case scenario, because of copyright, maybe I'll someday get some copyright strikes and they ban my channel. You know, having an alternative platform is a good way to communicate you the name of my next channel, for example, you know. But of course, you're not forced to do anything, but you're definitely all invited, and I would really appreciate if you would join Discord or follow me on Twitter. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope that you're all safe, hope that you're all healthy, hope that you're all fine. I hope that you will enjoy your day, and I'll see you when I watch episode 7.